Okay. Hey guys, I know I haven't done one of these for a while, so I figured I might as well. Life schedule's changed a bit. I remember, I think the last one of these I did, I said I was going to do every Thursday night at 6 o'clock. Life just changed. Wife's working different hours now, so I don't have this free time anymore. And running's been sort of a hassle for January. Getting back on board. If you followed this these posts on YouTube, last year was a challenge, and this year has become a challenge too. I don't understand why. Maybe it's just residual things that I called it like last year when my father passed away halfway through the year, and I thought it's when he passed away, I thought, bang, I can go back to training again, and it's almost like a PTSD thing. I just didn't. Body was sort of willing to go. This thing just kept saying no, just go back to bed. And it wasn't a depression thing. It wasn't a mourning or anything. It was just was. And because first of all, it was a long process before he passed away. So it was like by the time he passed away, it was time. But yeah, it's just now January, I sort of got back into it. Let's go over a bunch of stuff today. I'm gonna first of all, it finally clicked on me why I run. Um, yeah, I've been doing this for like 30 years. It took me 30 years to figure this out. I just like running. I just like the aspect of running. I like the social part of running. I like being on my own. I've loved doing early morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, running in the dark. I just started doing that this month. And I have done it before, but just randomly, just once, like the blue moon. And I finally said, okay, I've got one friend that she runs at 5 in the morning every day. How does she do that? Because she also works. I don't. I don't work. I'm retired. I'm a pensioner. Don't let this fool you. I'm a senior citizen. Of sometimes I'm 67. Sometimes I'll tell people I'm 76. My wife says I throw temper tantrums like a 10-year-old. So I'm somewhere in between there. I'm 67. I'm old. But it just seems I've done like two couple times back to back this week. And it's just you get out of bed, which is the hardest part in the world, right? I do the thing that you're told always to do, and I think as great advice, have everything you need for that run by your bed. Uh, Shoes, maybe not shoes, because my shoes have traction on them. I'll walk in the rug and floor would not work with that. But the tights, the tops, whatever. Make sure the night before you know what you want in the morning, so you're not going through the closet trying to find stuff and giving yourself an excuse to freak out and just give up. Everything's by the bed. Go. And I put this on my blog. The biggest secret to me running is just go out the door. There's actually two. One is just going out that back door. If I hesitate and grab this thing, I'm screwed. I'll be on this for like an hour, 2 hours minimum, and I won't run. So the trick is just put my shoes on, go. Don't even grab water. Don't do nothing. Just put the shoes on. I've got everything set to go. Just go. Now, one of the secrets to get going in the morning, especially this time of year, uh, January, right? January, February, the coldest time of the year in this area of the world. Um, if you live anyplace else, like in Phoenix or someplace, it doesn't really matter. But there's mornings where it's cold, right? It's you want to know how many layers do I need? I rely on an app a little bit. I'll explain why I say a little bit. This thing's called my phone. No, it's called Running Weather. This thing, that's what it looks like. Um, Sometimes it lies. It doesn't lie. It's actually what it does is it takes what the weather feels like, not what it actually is. And what that means is like, especially, well, if you don't live in Phoenix, you don't know what I'm talking about. Thing called wind chill. Um, it's a math equation, I guess, how long it takes your body to freeze, unprotected body parts to freeze. And so if it's like minus 25, it'll say it feels like minus 30. Well, that's for people that are standing still, right? If you're running, you warm up as you run, right? So if it tells you we're 3 layers, well, is it telling you we're 3 layers because you're going to be walking, 3 layers because you're going to be standing still, or because you're running? Like this morning, I screwed up this morning. I didn't really pay attention. It was minus 14, which for some of you guys saying minus 14 Celsius, not Fahrenheit, Celsius, which is a little bit different. I know in states freezing is minus 32. Here it's zero, which makes more sense. Right? Zero freezing. Who thought minus 32? It's okay, whatever. Anyhow, so it said we're 3 layers, so we're 3 layers, and I was warm. I was really warm. And it doesn't help when you're overheating, right? And winter, summertime you can strip down. Wintertime you really don't want to. Like you take a jacket off and tie it around your waist if you want to. But if there's a wind and you're going to get cold and you're going to want to put it back on again, I don't do that. But yeah, I thing I always do now is I look at this thing. I look and see what it says. Like tomorrow morning, I want to go at 6 o'clock. This doesn't go that far ahead. It only goes as far as 3 o'clock. So it says in real time it feels minus 17. Well, if I go to the Weather Canada page, -7 right now, but it says it's going to snow tonight. So again, I have to shovel snow tomorrow. Yay me. Tomorrow morning at 6 it's going to be -7. So a little bit different there, right? -7 is a lot different. This doesn't really work. The color, I don't know if you can see that. But so -7 makes more sense. So -7. I'm only going to wear maybe 2 layers. I'm not going to layer up with 3 layers. Maybe this, or something like that, and a jacket. That's it. I don't need anything else. I won't go short sleeve until it's like 0. Um, I always wear tights in wintertime. I don't do shorts. Some people do that. I don't. So knowing what you're going to wear, be ready to go. And other thing I think is going to see about this time of year, my pace sucks. My pace really sucks. I don't have my shoes with me here, but you know what? I'm going to pause this. I'm going to be right back. So let's pause. Hey, shoes, let's talk shoes. These are the shoes I use in the wintertime now. I love these things, Yak Tracks. It's funny, when I was working at the running room, I told people not to buy these things. I told them they're built more for deep snow, ice, more ice, and eventually the pins on this would break. I love these things now. They're the best things in the world. I don't know if any of you guys have tried like the black galoshes things that you stretch, put on your feet that always fall off. These never fall off. I hated those things. I used them. Part of them I liked them because you could take them off and put them back on again. You got to pause. Okay, so don't do this when the phone rings or door rings. Anyhow, so heavy shoes. I used to like the black things that you stretch over your feet. They have pins on the bottom. But the thing I found with them, I don't know if this phone does this, but they fall off. Remember one run I was running, I could feel one foot start to slip. I looked down, I lost one, right? Because they fall off. I kept going. A few feet later, I found a random one on the trail somebody else had lost. So these things stay on. But the thing is, these things are heavy. First of all, the sock in the ice, I love the shoe. I love that it's Gore-Tex, so I won't ever get wet. Gore-Tex, a quick study on Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex is not a solid piece of fabric, right? Or material. It's actually got tiny holes in it, which the science is amazing. The holes are small enough that are just the right size that sweat evaporates, so you don't get a wet sock. But they're small enough that water particles can't get into the shoe. Science, right? So yeah, I've actually got a pair of Gore-Tex socks that I use a lot, and that's the magic is your feet don't sweat. Because I used to think that's what we told people too when I was selling shoes that oh it's like a solid fabric. It's not. That's why you read stuff. So I love the sock in the ice. I'm gonna say this might be a bit overkill because it does have traction on it, which is great. But with the ice out there that we got now, and it seems to be getting every winter now in Edmonton. Um, I need the extra traction. I will say once it starts getting a little bit warmer and a little less ice, I'll probably just take the rack tracks off and just use the shoes. Something interesting about the shoe too, you might notice this. It's ripped right about there. You know why? When I run, I rub. Hey, that's another thing I learned working at the running room is people would come in and whine about their shoes ripping and stuff. And why does it happen that way? Because that's the way you run. Sometimes you'll see people that have worn on the inside of the shoe. The first question you ask them, are you a dog walker? And it seems like dog walkers do that too. They rub their heels or the side of their heels or shoe. So that's interesting things. Other thing you'll see a lot of people complain about is ripping this back down to the shoe counter or the heel counter. There's a bunch of reasons why that happens. One is shoe doesn't fit properly, so the foot's rubbing all the time, and I'll just wear it through. Second thing is that's probably the most common. That's probably the most common. Or the shoe's worn out already and it can't hold the foot in place. Your foot is still running back and forth. Some people say it's people taking their shoes off without undoing their laces. That's probably one of the problems too. But most is just friction, ongoing friction when you run. What's going on here? Um, yeah, that didn't work. Here. Until yeah. So that shoe counter is interesting. Quick shoe talk here. Make sure this part, the back, put it on the ground or on a level thing like that, level platform. Make sure this is going straight up and down. If you look at it and it's starting to sag in or sag out, it's worn out. It's not holding your foot in place because this is pretty much That holds your foots in place in your foots. My last name is Foots. Anyhow, that's holds your foot in place. Everything's yes, part of most of the shoe is the stabilities in the built in the shoe. But this is the motherboard. This is what holds you in place. Once that's gone, buy new shoes. In fact, buy before that happens. But if you find it wear out, you got to change the shoes because underneath here is usually plastic, and once that hits your heel, the back of your heel, guess what? It hurts. So anyhow, so traction is important about this time of year, but understand before you go out to run, make sure that works. Because you want to run. Yes, it's going to be hard. You're running. It's not, you don't do it because it's fun. Well, yeah, you do because it's fun, but you don't want to make it work. You want to run because you want to, not because you have to, right? And that for me is huge. That is a huge thing. And that's a saying probably at the start of this video is I finally figured out why I run. I like to run. I could care less what my speed is. I can care less what my pace is. I'm usually a mid-packer. Now I'm getting older, less, maybe not less so, but I could care less. No chance of me ever qualifying for Boston, which I'm fine with. If it takes me 4 hours to run a marathon, it takes me 4 hours to run a marathon. If at my age I ever run another marathon, there is a wish to do that again. I'm happy with halves. I have to race. It's nice. I like doing races. I've gone to Vancouver for the Sun Run in April for sure this year. And I'm going because it's Vancouver. Um, Sun runs on this sun or ski. Yeah, the Seaweeds is coming back this summer, August 8th. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about the $325 entry fee. Canadian, American, I think it's 275. That seems a little steep. The shorts that come with it. I mean, Seaweeds is a lot of stuff, right? There is the half marathon, but there's also free yoga. Yoga outside the convention center on that grass thing just outside the convention center in Vancouver. There's a Seaweeds party afterwards, which is kind of cool. Um, but for 325 bucks plus, the reason you're going there is to buy Lululemon stuff. So you're going to be spending even more money. And also, August 8th, the most expensive time of the year to rent a hotel room or an Airbnb in Vancouver. If you can find a place. So I'm not going to go. I really would like to. The last time I went, it was actually in September, I think. And I loved that. That was fine. The prices were a little bit lower for accommodation. And I can't remember what the entry fee was, but it wasn't 325 bucks. And if it was, my wife didn't strangle me, so she didn't see my visa bill. But anyhow, so yeah, I run because I like to run. That's the most important thing. I can't remember what I put on my last YouTube video or this this thing. Where I fell off. I'm still sort of aiming this at more learn to runner peoples. I'd love to get like hundreds of people on here so I can actually get guest speakers. But no, for now, I'm fine with me just being me. And if you want to watch, fine. And again, I'm going to say this for as I said before, this is as much about me as it is about the people that watch. This is me getting my butt back in gear, back on the horse again, focusing, and back to the morning runs. The runs in the dark. It's a blast. If you've never done it, especially in the dark, I may end up doing evenings too at some point because just the way life is, where my wife's work schedule is, where my handicapped kids are in life, the only time I got to run, so that's what I got. And I just this morning was great. I did what I didn't notice a whole lot this morning. I think I was the only person out, but other mornings I've been out, I've seen coyotes, which is kind of cool. Americans, coyotes. Um, which is kind of neat. Sometimes you see the odd runner walker. I remember one person I ran past a couple weeks ago, and she jumped 3 feet in the air because she didn't think anybody else would be stupid enough to run at that time in the morning. But I was me. That was me. I was stupid. Um, so yeah, so the trick is to running. Figure out why you're doing it. And I get the people that do this for a bucket list thing, right? I understand that part, but I don't understand some people that I've taught in clinics, and they do that marathon and then they never run again. That seems pointless. I mean, yeah, okay, maybe it's like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro or something, but running should be a lifestyle change, not a bucket list. I know I probably lost a lot of people viewing this and saying, well, because I just want to run one marathon. I really don't care if I ever run another marathon. I run because it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's social. Park runs in my schedule for this week, which if you've never done before, do a group run. I love the solo runs. I love talking to myself. I love thinking about stuff when I run and what my future is going to be like. and what's coming up. Because again, I'm older. I just have to start thinking about things. I'm thinking about wills. I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about what I'm making for breakfast. What's for dinner tonight? What am I going to watch on TV if I'm going to bother watching TV or just listen to music? Other thing is I love doing is watching other people run. That gets me going as well. Olympics are 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks away. I think it's 9 days. Actually, it's on a Friday, so it's coming up quick. Starts on a Friday, I think, on February 6th. There is a calendar behind my head, but I'm not going to turn and look. But just doing that, I help out at a thing called the Indoor Games here in Edmonton. It's I just helped out two events. The main thing is on the 14th is February, which is I just realized is Valentine's Day. Dear, I won't be home. But I did two preliminary races just to see who qualifies for the finale. And it was just elementary school kids who can scream like crazy. If you've ever been in a room with thousands of kids screaming, this was your time. But it's so much fun watching these guys just go. And they have fun. It's like anybody that knocks kids should come see something like this. Kids that just want to run and want to do stuff with friends. It's kids from schools all over this area of Edmonton region. And most of them don't. I mean, the kids on the teams know each other, but they don't need people on other teams. Maybe they've raced before, but they just cheer each other on. They race each other, they high five each other. And while they're waiting to run, they're watching their friends running, but they're also doing stuff like running around, practicing hanging batons for the relay parts. There's kids just doing backflips as they walk. I wish I could do a black flip now, or even a forward flip, but it's incredible. But I watched that, and the next thing I want to do, I ran like the night out in the evening, right? Finished up at 6 o'clock and or 7 o'clock, went for a run. It was just that just pumps me up. Watching the Olympics, watching things on TV, watching races on TV. Lots of races are live feeds. Like you can go back. I think I don't know if Boston's on, but New York I think is for sure still on. Or somebody's actually there's a really neat somebody did a GoPro for the whole New York Marathon, all 3.5 hours of it, and it's just isn't neat to watch because you watch that and you think this is what I do and this is what I want to do. So inspiration, motivation, right there. My goal is also to be consistent always. So this week I'm kicking my butt in. I'm going to maybe do a consistent run every day. And then next week I'll get back to doing just 4 days a week, cross training the other days. Strength training and swimming and biking and whatever, because what I love to do. So anyhow, this has been all about what I love to do and why. If you're following this and following along, you realize I'm crazy. I sometimes script things out. I actually have this morning, but today, but I'll be back on probably next Thursday. I hope. I hope my wife's schedule gets back onto Thursday nights and I can get back to doing this. But yeah, figure out why you're doing this to start with. Figure out what you can do. I've talked about this before. If you're thinking about doing a marathon, what's your lifestyle like? Can you train for that marathon, right? That's important. You don't want to make this like a chore. You don't want to make it like I have to do this. You want to do it. Yes, if you're training for a marathon, you have to do those long runs. You have to do the hills. You have to do the speed work. You have to do the boring long runs. But you know what? They're not boring because you want to do them, right? So make sure it's something you want to do. So many times I've seen people train for marathons or want to do a marathon, and they work in 14-hour days and they work 6 days a week and they've got big families and all kinds of commitments. Guess what? You're not going to be able to do that marathon unless you make some major changes in life and you're running at 4 o'clock in the morning and whatever, midnight. Make sure you can do it. Don't be afraid to, if you can't get the runs in, to cross train because endurance is endurance. Yes, you need to pound that pavement or trails, but if you complement that with hopping on a bike trainer, that's fine too. Make sure you got the right shoes. That's important too, but just you have to make sure it's something you want to do and like to do. Don't be one of these people that come out and make sure you give it a good hard try. A lot of people say, I don't want to run. I hate running. I don't want to run. Then they run, they love it. I've had people say, I hate running in winter. It's too cold. And they're running in like a light shirt and shorts because they love running in winter. So don't try, make sure you try it. Give it a good shot. Some people just get onto it right like that, and then decide if that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with doing 5K, 10K, half marathons. Nobody says you have to do a marathon or an ultra marathon or anything. It's up to you. If that's a goal, yes, but also please don't make it a bucket list thing. Make it a lifestyle style. Your body will help thank you later on in life. Yeah. And anyhow, next week I'll try to be more focused than today. Again, I'm going to talk more about, I'll talk about the training. I'll talk about how to figure out a training plan next week. I plan on doing it Thursday at 6. I might not do it live. I'll tape it and then post it. But if I do think ahead and plan it, I'll try to put the Zoom link on YouTube channel, so people can follow along. Anyhow, I got to go back. I got to make supper for my kids. And that's the other part about being a runner. You also have to do other stuff. Talk next time.